What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We're bringing you the preview of the first game of Wild Card Weekend. Finally back. And what a game we get to talk about. We get to talk about the Browns going into Houston to play the Texans. That's right. Your AFC champion, Houston Texans. So we've got the Browns as a 2.5-point favorite, and the total is over under 44.5. So, Gage, what are your first thoughts on this?
Yeah, AFC South champion, Texans, CJ Storud stand up. What an amazing season out of this guy. Got to be up there for greatest rookie season of all time. What a performance out of CJ week in and week out, keeping this team in it and ultimately winning the division. So, hats off to him. What a job by D'Amico Ryans. This team is just taking off like a rocket. Will Anderson has obviously been an awesome pick. Like everything they're doing, they're hitting. So big props to the Texans. Outstanding job. Really a tough spot for them to come into here. Obviously playoffs, so it's going to be a tough game. But Cleveland coming in, going to be a tough spot for them. I do like Cleveland in this game. I do like the over in this game with it being set at the 44.5. I think we see a little bit of kind of what we saw in the first matchup with Cleveland, not necessarily dominating this game, but I think Cleveland matches up really well with this team. Really strong defense to mess with the rookie quarterback, and probably top 5 offensive and defensive line, which wins in the playoffs. So honestly, like Cleveland, like the over. What are you leaning in this game?
Leaning the same. Also, shout out to that little taking off like a rocket when you're talking about Houston.
Yes,
Love
sir.
that. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't think it's going to be a carbon copy of what we saw in the first matchup between these two teams, where we saw a 36-22 victory. But I do think, like you're saying, we can expect the Browns to repeat and win again, and probably the over to hit. I'm definitely leaning a little bit closer because I think even if the Browns have a lead, I do love CJ to pull the game back close. So for me, like, I'm definitely taking the Browns at -2.5, even though in the playoffs, a lot of the time that low, you just take the money line because it's very easy for a team to win by 1 or 2 in the playoffs when it's a lot closer and it's just win and survive.
Yeah, definitely agree. Money line is more of the play here for me as well. And as much as we like teaser spots, I don't necessarily love the Texans in a teaser spot here. I can see maybe a 27-20, maybe a 30-20 type victory here for Cleveland, where we see Houston stick around for the majority of the game and then just get worn down near the end by a really big physical football team that is probably going to have the defensive player of the year on one side and then has this strong running game on the other side, and then a Flacco who's probably going to maybe give you a couple turnovers, but also he's just come in and really steadied the ship. A lot more consistent than what we were getting out of Watson. So really strong run game there for Cleveland that they're really going to have to lean on a little bit. But do see Cleveland in the money line situation as being maybe my second favorite bet here after the over.
I'm going to be honest with you, even though we agree on who wins, I think Texans in a teaser works. For me, I'm probably going to run a little bit of a Texas two-step teaser. Teasing them up to 8.5 since 2.5. And when we get to the second part of that teaser, I'll go ahead and link that video down below so you can watch both of them. Really already spoiled it by calling it a Texas two-step.
Yeah.
But we'll still leave that a little bit to the imagination. But really excited that this is our first playoff matchup.
Yeah.
The only other stat that I kind of want to throw out here, and we're going to see this pop up 4 times over this wild card weekend, teams who have a quarterback making their first playoff start versus teams with a quarterback who has playoff experience only cover the spread about 32% of the time.
Yeah.
So really you see that the playoffs, that experience matters. Being there before matters. Having done it before matters. So it's so tough for these guys, especially when it's a rookie making their first start.
And especially when, like you said, the spread is such a small number anyway. So at that 2.5, to cover that spread, you're probably going to have to win this game anyway. So really tough spot to be in as a Texans better, but, how much we love CJ Stroud. Hats off to CJ. He's going to be a force in this league for years to come. But really tough first playoff matchup with him for which we think is probably the best defense in the league. The Ravens and Niners are up there, obviously, but the Browns have been such a turnover machine, and just really a tough defense to get anything going against.
And shout out to that Browns defense and the Browns as a whole. Like, when you start more than 2 quarterbacks in a year, and really we're talking about like 4 quarterbacks starting, like it's crazy that they made the playoffs. That does not happen for anybody in the NFL. Even though we'll mention a little bit later another team that started a bunch of quarterbacks this year, the Steelers, which just shows that AFC North is crazy good.
Yeah, and shout out Stefanski. He doesn't get a whole lot of love, but Stefanski doing a really good job, obviously, and this should be a really good matchup of 2 teams that maybe necessarily weren't predicted to be in this situation, but now we get a really, really fun matchup and 2 teams that really have a chance in this playoff picture.
And let us know in the comments who you're taking. Are the Browns going to go ahead and win this one and start rolling? And maybe we see a little vintage playoff Joe Flacco when we saw that crazy run with the Ravens.
Yeah.
And also, if the Browns win, there's a good chance that then he goes into Baltimore to face one of his old teams.
Yes, sir.
Or are we going to see CJ Stroud just keep – I mean, we've had to reset our expectations I don't know how many times because he keeps raising the bar.
Yeah.
We were on it early of it being the best rookie QB season ever, and even he beat our expectations by making the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's with pieces falling. You know, Tank Dell been out for the season. Nico Collins has missed tons of time. Just, not an offense that you would see a young rookie quarterback with a first-year coach really exploding in. And this guy's, like we said, raising the bar week to week. He told us he wasn't a test taker. He played football, and he was absolutely 100% true. This guy's making plays and really a force to be reckoned with.
And his team has enough confidence in him that in a basically win-or-go-home game last weekend, they came out right out the gates and threw the 75-yard bomb to Nico Collins.
Yes, sir.
That traveled 60 yards in the air. We're not talking about a slant that just went and gone. Like, first play of the game, just go ahead and air it out 60 yards. And he was talking about as soon as he knew that was the play call, he was remembering the Mike Vick to Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. He said he was just playing that over his head.
Oh, wow.
But once again, thank y'all for watching. Definitely comment below who you think's going to win. If you do enjoy the content, comment, like, subscribe. They're all free ways to support us, and it just helps us know what y'all like and what content to make.
Yes, sir. And as always, appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and look forward to watching these playoffs.